Yo, Gecko, what's up, dude? And here we are. We're gonna go ahead and start off with the Magic DPS role quest line. Our aching souls. The Ishgardian delegate seeks a battle mage with courage unwavering. My Lady Sapphire, I have awaited your coming. The phenomenon wherein men turn into monsters. It pains to say that Ishgard has not been spared. A dreaded blasphemy has appeared in the Holy See, and to compound the people's horror, the beast resembles a dragon. Oh, that's not okay. 'Tis imperative that it be vanquished without delay, and to that end we have begun assembling a hunting party. Given that fear and despair may turn our allies against us, we are being stringent with in whom we choose for this duty. I would assume, dude, Emma, thank you so much. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful rest of your night. See you next time, my dude. Imagine not having an item level 570 gear. Imagine being caught up with the story. And that I had because keep exposing free ticket to read it. Okay, husband, I appreciate you. I'll catch you later. Yet, while we have confidence in the quality of our knights, the mission would greatly benefit from the presence of a battle mage, one who can stand unflinching in the face of our fell quarry. I'm done. I know you're done. We would be hard-pressed to find an individual who fits that description better than you. Will you not lend us your strength and skill? You can count on me. I still need to clear EX2 and get my weapon. You got this, Chibi. I believe in you. We are in your debt. Just a moment while I relay the glad tidings to the command. I'm gonna try clearing tomorrow. Dude, good luck, Naraki. Get those clear, boys. 'Tis settled. Upon arriving in Ishgard, please take yourself to the Aetherai Plaza. Lord Artwarel will be there to receive you. May the Fury speed your way. Another going as Reaper, Gunbreaker. That's fair. I've seen a range multiple times, but no clear. Oh no! Cleared EX1 already. That's awesome. Who the tits? Why are you here? I never unlocked that, guys, because I don't gather. It's fine, though. It's fine. Sapphire, I have been expecting you. Words cannot well express how heartening it is to have you fighting beside us. Must have cleared the expert and got all my healer accessories and got my normal raids healer type. Nice! Allow me to echo that sentiment. What's up, Emmerich? It's good to see you, dude. Get my pants for normal raids this week. Go for it, dude. Go for it. Greetings, my friend. As you wonder, Lord Artwarel and I are leading the effort to deal with the blasphemy. With your capable self in the fold, I have no doubt that we shall succeed. Without further ado, I shall brief you on the situation. 'Twas a handful of days after the first beast appeared in Ratahan. An Elysian man was observed at the Hoplon in the Pillars, walking with an unsteady gait. All of a sudden, he buckled over as if in pain. And before anyone knew it, what was happening, he had transformed into a terrible draconic beast. At the mere sight of this, many who chanced to be present also turned, and regrettably the Temple Knights were forced to put them down. The blasphemy itself, however, took wing and fled. Profane Fafnir, we have chosen to call it. That's fair enough. After the Dragon Man Vishgardian myth. Consider the tank melee and range fist quests. I'm doing all of them tonight, GB. Since that day, the beast has oft been sighted in the skies above Ishgard. It does not attack, only circles menacingly for a time ere disappearing again. Alas, these brief visitations are enough to cause more people to turn, and for fear and panic to spread further. As part of our investigation, we have sought to identify the man who became the blasphemy, and thus far we have learned naught. We have, however, identified a common thread between those who subsequently turned. All people were of fervent faith. People such as priests and inquisitors. That's interesting. When in truth of our nation's history was laid bare, the legitimacy of the church was called into question. Many Ishgardians struggled to reconcile the revelations with their beliefs, and none more so than the pious. Such men and women, we posit, would be more susceptible to despair and therefore the transformation. I was just the only healer. I haven't gotten to Night yet, but I'm doing the other jobs first. I just did Astro to have a regen healer done. Fair enough. And considering you also have... You were going to do Astro anyways, because I know you also know how to Astro. We must first find a way to stop it. Ishgard has only just emerged from a 1,000-year war. We cannot suffer another great tragedy, much less so soon. In order to attain a better understanding of the situation, we intend to speak with a member of the clergy, the sole individual who survived witnessing the blasphemy's birth without being turned. Clem is his name, and he is a deacon at St. Raymond's Cathedral. Come, let us seek him out there at once. I chose my baby before Shadowbringers, but the card changes and loss of each other made me sad. I'm torn between sad about loss of Noctek, but happy about return of utility. That actually, you know what? No, I'll check it out later. I'll check it out later. Oh. I just had somebody send me a tell saying that they liked my Black Mage Glamour and that I could get the full set of 560 gear in Ishgard. Or not Ishgard, in Charlian. I'm fucking... Not so very long ago, you would have imagined Ishgardian knights marching beyond the bounds of their own dominion. But we have ventured to the heart of Garlemald and fought for no less than the fate of the world itself. Our nation has changed and continues to do so. Here he is, Deacon Clem. Let us see what he can tell us. I guess you're he, huh? I thought you'd be older. All right. They have some shields, but no more than if you had been playing on Diurnal Sector 4. Gotcha. Where certain skills with the opposite of your current sec plus neutral sector. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. I was like, you have like 2 abilities about that. Yeah, that's cool. Food is good. Food is good. What kind of food do you have? Lord Emmerich, Lord Artorel, and the Savior of Ishgard besides. You do me a great honor. I'm Clem, and I serve as the deacon here at St. Raymond's Cathedral. Taco Bell, nice. I feel sorry for your intestines with what happens after the fact, but it's fine. They don't want to cook, that's fair. Anyway, complimented about glams. I do. I just got better glam game than you, I guess. I understand you were among those at the Hopland when the incident occurred. We give thanks to the Fury for your merciful preservation. We now seek to prevent the blasphemy from wreaking further havoc. Wow. And would appreciate any details you can provide. Know, though, we are to make you recall unpleasant memories. Will you not recount to us what you witnessed that day? Stop flexing. Yeah, dude. Hey, something's so good. Okay, them some fighting words. Come on. Come on. Very well. We are presently relocating the vault libraries to the cathedral. In case you were unaware, we had finished delivering a batch of tomes and were on our way to bring over another. As we approached the Hoplon, we noticed a young man walking unsteadily. No sooner had he come to an abrupt halt than the transformation into a draconic beast. I'm a better black mage trauma. I'm not saying I'm a better black mage than you. I'm just saying I look better. Fuck you. Oh, it's much harder now to get all 3 COs, and even though you no longer need them for the DPS, because you still want all 3 for the best outcome of the new ability. That's. I need to read on all the new Astro stuff. I haven't really read it too much into it, honestly. Glad it's a true endgame. That's a fact. That's a fact. This anime I find Netflix is interesting. Which anime? The fiend fixed us with a menacing glare, and it was all we could do to find our wits and flee. But to my compounding horror, my brethren who were with me began turning into monstrosities as well, one after another. Praise the Fury that you and these were spared, Decon Clem. I can imagine how frightening the experience must have been. Is that Hilda? Oh, hello. You seem familiar. Bishop Bartino. A comic got killed. I've heard good things about that anime, actually. Never did we made half an out. Yo, that's cool. Oh god, no. What do you mean, oh god, no? Forgive me if I interrupt. I was informed that our stalwart protectors were present and wish to express my gratitude. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you for your service. I pray that we shall soon be free of this scourge. Is that Harry Potter? This man's? Or are you talking about the other dude I was talking about, Clem? It's, Akemi was known for sadness. Really? Really? Huh. Indeed, if there is aught we might do to aid your efforts, you need but say it. The opening thing. I have yet to watch it. I need to watch it. You are most kind, Your Grace. Whatever you made me. Oh no! Venus is now dead by anime. Hey, where's the glasses? Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, the dude in blue here in front of me. Gotcha. That was Bishop Vartino, the head of the St. Raymond's and a member of the Synod. With the seat of the Archbishop vacant, he is in effect the highest authority in the Ishgardian Orthodox Church. This is so. Yet in spite of his elevated station, he remains as kind and humble a man as any I've ever known. Like His Grace, I would do all that I can to help shepherd our people through this uncertain time. To that end, there is a request I would like to make of you. If you could spare a moment to consider it. Of course. If it is within our power, we should be glad to offer you aid. Thank you. Alright, what's up? We should have been warned that as soon as you fall in love with the character, they die. Oh, fun! It's good summer. But what anime is it? That's fair. Diakon was no less terrified by the blasphemy than his peers, yet he alone did not turn. By what grace was he spared? What manner of request could this be? His tone bespeaks urgency. In the wake of the transformations, a group of clergymen fled the city in fear. Yet though they sought refuge in the wilderness, they put themselves at the mercy of the elements and fell fiends both. Given that the cause of the transformations is not clear, I think theirs was a decidedly unwise decision. I wish to set out and find them, but I am not trained in the ways of war. As such, I require those who are to accompany me in the search. So that is the way of it. Suffice it to say, we will help. Do you know whither your fellows may have headed? The Western Highlands, I believe. Between Gorgane Mills and Hemlock. There's no shortage of abandoned dwellings in that area. Very well. Time being of the essence, I propose we split up and scour separate areas. Sapphire, if you could escort the good Diakon to Gorgane Mills, Lord Artwarel and I will tend to Hemlock. I personally like Madoka Magica. I've heard good things about that. I have heard good things about Madoka Magica. To the Falcon's Nest. It presents its typical magical girl anime as first, and then it gets dark. Gotcha. Yeah, I think I've heard only a few things about it. Not too many. They're making the 1,000-year war figure. Yes, I did. I'm actually excited about that. I did hear that Bleach is getting its final arc, and I'm super happy about it. Wait, the 1,000-year war is the final arc, right? If I remember correctly. The difference is actually what made me really like it. Gotcha. Almost. No, I know. I know it's like almost 10 years later, but it's fine. Yes, it is the final. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I've heard a lot of phenomenal things with regards to the 10-year war arc. 10-year war arc. Or 1,000-year war arc. Jesus Christ. You should choose to abide in such harsh conditions. Okay. War orc, I know. I literally just pictured an orc from Dragon Quest with like the club and everything like that with like the green tunic. It's like if Link was turned into an orc. But yeah, I love how OP Ichigo is. Oh yeah, he's kind of OP. You. Ah, I see you found them. Yes, and none the worse beware. Thank the Fury. Okay, Seth, what's up? My friends, forgive us if we have given cause for alarm. We come out of concern for your well-being. Oh, we understand why you quit the city. We fear you may have placed yourselves at greater risk by coming here. His Grace, Bishop Vartado, too worries for your health and prays to see your swift return. So please, will you not allow us to escort you to the Holy See? I assure you, you will be much safer there than in this wretched place. Servants of the Fury will never be safe in the city. Don't you see? This is your fault, and you and your accursed revolution! The people disdain us, mock us behind our backs, and spit in our faces! And now someone is conspiring to transform us into monstrosities, enemies of the church, I'll wager, emboldened by your deeds. So no, I will not go back to Ishgard. I'd sooner freeze to death than suffer your pity. What? Yeah, that's not good. All I've ever done was in service to her. I am a god man. I do not. She cannot forsake me. Hello, Berseria. Oh my god. Sapphire, we cannot allow him to harm any others. Give chase and do what you must. We will remain here and keep the others calm. I have a plan for Bleach, or more of a goal is since I'm never gonna really watch the anime. I'm giving myself to the new season comes out to watch all of it. Oh my god! Have fun with that, Venus. Alright, the main character of One Punch is OP. Oh my fucking god. Do come, Clem, please, what you must do. Do what you can to reassure them. Yes, of course. Don't worry about us. See to the beast. It can have gone far. All shall be well. All shall be well, my friends. Come, join me in prayer. Yeah, for people of a sort, prayer will definitely help calm them down, which is a good thing. Paradox! Oh, here, I'll help this dude out really quickly. I get 3 player comments in the first dungeon. Nice! Let's go, Arson. It's good shit, dude. Yeah, I told you got this. And I'm learning where, but which tank is the easiest to know more and things. Warrior. So Warrior and Paladin are your best bets. Warrior and Paladin are your best bets for tanks to learn. Like if you're gonna tank for the first time, Warrior and Paladin are your best bets. They both are fine. They're both equally fine. Or your best class, I mean, to each their own in that respect, but both of them still work just fine for the first tank class. And also Sakai, how are you doing, dude? Welcome in. I love Warrior, I know. I very much prefer Paladin personally between the two. Is it done, Sapphire? It is done. It has no need for a healer level 56 easy. Too angry to die? Yeah. My thanks. What happened is most regrettable, but we must be grateful that no one else has come to harm. While you were gone, the Diakon was able to convince the others to return to the city. Let us escort them back at once, then reconvene at the congregation to reconsider our next course of action. Our purposes, we have the use of its strategy room. Announce yourself to the guard without, and he will show you in. Cool. Because of the magic, I can't know. I mean, I just have a soft spot for Paladin personally, and I feel like the AOE rotation is a little easier to like have at. But that's literally just me. Do you know? I do want to know how to play Paladin because of the sword and magic and favorite conversation. Hey, it's fun. This is the first Warrior of Light? You mean this? Maybe. Yeah. Like, yeah. It might have something to do with this. Should we just have Forgotten Night? Yeah, that's Forgotten Night. Closest. And they changed Ryan to Wish, so they actually made it worth using instead of only Nosson. Oh, I heard about that. I need to look into all of the changes. I haven't been able to check out all the changes. I've hearing a lot of good things though about Warrior lately because they just don't fucking die. They're just like, give me my HP back. Just give it back to me. Like really stuff like Cessa over Warrior Light. What do you mean? What? Lords Emmerich and Arbor Torrell await you within the strategy room. Will you be joining them now? Hell yeah. Whoa. This is cool. Here we shall discuss our plans to deal with the blasphemy. Wheresoever you wish to enter, you need but say so to the god. So, Warrior's a main tank or off tank? Warrior can do both. Warrior does both, it doesn't matter. Like, all of them can do both. I know that Paladin sometimes likes to prefer off tank, so that way they can keep maximum potency on their spirits within. Other than that, that's about it. Okay, so the level 3, 83 final boss fight? Yeah. Also, what's up, Coriana? How are you doing, dude? She has been changed? What do you mean changed? And it was a complete warrior like Glam. I don't know if it's worth it to complete because I can't wear a helm. I mean, I would say complete it anyways. It still looks really good. With the full armor set nonetheless. What you said the paladin more than warrior is unless I heard that. Yes. Oh, that's not talking about a Venus. It's fine. As you wonder, we have taken a clergyman to St. Rimonad's to arrest and recover him. Sure, one doesn't change with HP anymore. Oh! Well, then never mind then. All of them are perfectly fine for main and off tank. If truth be told, I thought they may still succumb to despair and turn remains at the forefront of my mind. Yet the risk would be greater still were we to keep them at arm's length and deny them the comfort of the church. Indeed, from the words he spoke, that Inquisitor yearned for the days of old. He and others like him can scarcely be blamed. Since the truth of the nation's founding, the Archbishop's machinations were made public knowledge, the church has been in turmoil. Except still love you. Aha. My kid, Burger King, I'll be back. She's not my for tacos. She went down. Oh no! No worries, dude. Go get her some burgers. Or a burger. Or nuggies, whatever she wants. Though we have made great strides in separating religion and state, there has been far less progress in the reformation of the church. For our faith has been everything to us, our purpose and our comfort. It's not an easy thing to reconcile one's beliefs with the betrayal of our spiritual leaders. Thus torn between the hearts and minds, many Ishgardians feel lost, and none more so than the members of the clergy whose faith was once unshakable. Not to wonder then that the most dedicated and devout are like to turn. That was my idea of what a tank should be used to. Kind of is, but I find warrior more fun. That's fair. I think about the who takes the brunt of the damage and protects their team. Yep, that's literally what I thought too. I actually picked up Gladiator as my first class because it was the only class with a sword. I later learned on that it was a tank. It's fine. But I knew what to do as a tank though, because FF already taught me. Yeah, the purpose of a tank is to protect. And its main thing is to take aggro and protect your party. That is the main idea of a tank. So it seems, but further investigation is needed and we draw a definite conclusion. At the war's end, Ishgard has set out a new path. The choices we make now shall determine our course for the future. Come what may, we dare not squander the chance to have fought so hard to attain. Once the return of the clergyman has sufficiently calmed down, I shall have the Diakon speak with them, that we might gain insight to their individual plight. Good. Meanwhile, I should take the opportunity to brief my men on recent developments. Pray, take a moment's rest, my friend. You have earned it. When you are ready to continue your work, you may seek us out here. Alright, now to find out what kind of... 86? Oh shit. Hey, wait, hang on. Are we doing 85, 6, 7, 8, and 90? We're getting 5 role quests anyways? I didn't expect that. I thought we were gonna have less. Oh shit. Yeah, this might take all night. Alright. Ah, Sapphire, your timing could not be better. Deacon Clem has finished speaking with the rescue clergyman and will be here shortly to share his tidings. Lord Emmerich too is on his way. Let us wait for him. 85 through 90. Yeah, I mean, I know that, but I didn't know it was 85, 86, 87. I thought it was going to skip over, like, with previous role quests. How it was, like, 80, 83, 85, 87, and I thought it was going to be like that. But just starting from 85 instead. Deacon Clem, we thank you for making the inquiries on our behalf. 'Twas no imposition in the least. As I said, I am glad to do all I can. MSQ went after I finished all of the 5 role quests. So, it is our understanding that those we escorted back were all close acquaintances of the Inquisitor who turned. Kim, they too have been subject of harassment in certain quarters of the populace. Is this correct? It is, I'm afraid. They are far from alone. Many of the cloth were once afforded respect and deference as servants of Haloni, but now they are openly reviled by many. We were complicit in perpetuating terrible lies, this is true, but we too were misled. We too are victims, yet we are regarded by some as criminals. She's not starting getting videos every level instead of every other. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be 5 role quests, but you get less needed content. Nah, it's fine. You're still getting the 5. Okay, that's fine. I don't mind it. I just thought it was gonna skip over. Well, do I understand that people's anger, but it saddens me to think that they would thus lash out at their fellow man. Especially when we need solidarity most of all. Though I can imagine your plight, I would not presume to fully grasp your pain when you tell us of the challenges you and yours have to face since the war's end. Like all sons and daughters of Ishgard, we dreamed of peace in our lifetime, but now that it has come, you find we have little cause to rejoice. Our faith has long been the foundation of our lives, and overnight the foundation has been crippled by fractures beyond repair for some. To learn that we had been deceived, and that we had unwittingly deceived others in turn, was devastating. We who had once been shepherds to men found ourselves lost lambs, bereft of surety. Bereft of surety and wanting for guidance. We have languished in darkness, all of us. Yet I have faith that the church will redeem itself. They will find a new path, and again become a beacon of hope for the people. I see. Thank you for sharing this with us. Your testimony has confirmed our suspicions. According to our allies, that which causes people to turn is none other than despair and anguish. If it wasn't before, 'tis now abundantly clear why members of the clergy are among the transformed. You did not, I believe it due to your unwavering faith in the church. In light of this, we would ask for your continued cooperation. Of course. Anything to help my brethren. Now that we have established the cause, that leaves us with the mystery of Profane Fafnir's identity. The progenitor of these troubles, could he too have been a man of the cloth? From what I recall of his garb, I doubt it. He was dressed in the common fashion, and inadequately against the cold besides. It is said that something of the individual may have remained in the blasphemy, influencing its behavior. If we can determine what instincts drive Profane Fafnir, we may learn who it once was. And this knowledge, I believe, will prove vital in our efforts to stop it. Deacon Clem, we ask that you reach out to your fellow clergymen. Please do what you can to ease their anxieties. Understood. As I have ever done, I shall provide what comfort I can to those in need. Meanwhile, you must make it a priority to identify the blasphemy. To that end, I would seek out more eyewitnesses. The Hopland is a busy place at any given time. Some ordinary citizens are bound to have been present at the tragic event in Fulton. I propose we make inquiries into pillars. If you could attend to the Hopla, Lord Arturel and I will look into the surrounding areas. Okay, I need to go to the next area. Alright, let's go to the tribunal first. This is really I'm going to be able to knock out 2 of them here. Tire? Oh, is it going to be... Wait. Oh, it's going to be over there. Oh, there you are. I was in prison for the incident at the Hoplon, but a young man poorly dressed with the cold that I did see. I recall him well because an aide from the St. Vandrios was searching for him. He was a patient at the infirmary, and by coincidence had the same name. Okay. This brings you to start with Bailey says you want to main Reaper. I'm gonna do all 5 GB. I'm gonna end on Reaper because I want that to be like the big finale before I continue the MSQ, if that makes sense. A dragon that appeared at Hoplon? I saw it with my own eyes. One moment an Ellison, the next a terrible beast. He was a heretic, I take it? Okay. To the last vigil we go then. But yeah, I thought about it, about starting on Reaper, but I was like, nah, I'll do it in reverse order. I hear this, but I was prejudiced in MSQ over getting the classes done. Gotcha. You know, I already have my 5 rolls done, so it's fine. No, I didn't see that dragon, nor would I have a wish to, frightful as it sounds. They say it wasn't a Dravanian attack, but if not, then what was it? I believe I can jump this fence? Huh! Yep. Were you able to learn anything? There you are, Sapphire. Did you search yield any fruit? Only one person actually had stuff. A patient at the Firmamen's infirmary, you say? Among those with whom I have spoke, one claims to witness an individual fitting that description. A man walking in a stupor who did not seem to feel the cold. If he had wandered straight out of the infirmary, it would explain his state of attire. Yes, I dare say we have found our blasphemy. But to think his name should be Vendrio. Is the same as that of the former Heaven's Ward Commander Sir Vendrio de Rougemont, for whom the infirmary is named. Oh, the name is familiar now. Oh, that name is actually familiar. That he's mentioning it now. Sir Vendrio ever retired from his station at the ripe old age some years ago. 'Tis not like to have been him. In any case, we have a lead. I shall head to the infirmary at once. Pray wait for me in the broom. Currently have Soldier, Scholar, Sage, Astro, Dragoon, Bard, and Warrior 90. The answer is 84 Reapers to 70. Fuck! God damn, Chibi, I forgot that you've been really, like, working your tits off for that, dude. Alright, so the broom we got. Yeah, I'm excited to get all of the classes to 90, honestly. Somebody Gather is done, and Alchemist and Culinary. Fuck. That's insane. Yeah, you've been really, like, grinding a lot.
Hey, this almost ready? And we're like, we didn't even get the ticket. And they're like, we forgot. So then they had to reprint all the orders, and they were just like, hey, can you put this quick?
It is Loverick, the aide who was in charge of Vendria. Have you found him? Oh, please say you have. We have not, I'm afraid. But we have to. But we seek to. And hope that you can tell us more about him. May we ask how he came to be at the infirmary? He was found by a patrol in the Central Highlands. After being treated for his hurt, he was brought to us for a convalescence. Being in the prime of his years, he had been doing well, but then... Prime of his years? By all accounts, he is no old man. Seems safe to assume it isn't Sir Vendrio. Oh, no! He's definitely a different person, as I told Lord Artworel. And though he gave his name Vendrio, he seemed rather confused. He had no means to confirm his identity. In his day, he shouldn't have been wandering about on his own. Please, you must find him. For the manipulation on arm. Manipulation. Manipulation. What does that one do again? Man who had recently turned into a beast at the hopground. We regret to say it may have been Vendrio. What? No. How can this be? Is there aught else you can tell us? Things he may have said or done while in your camp. While he was still conscious, he would often ramble, though most of it was incoherent. He mentioned the Archbishop many times. Oh, and he spoke of a bishop too, Bishop Vartino. I assume he was a pious man, given this. I see. Thank you for your cooperation. We'll continue our investigation, and should we confirm what became of Vendrio, we will inform you forthwith. Oh. I don't think I ever ended up using that, honestly. Let's just return to the congregation for now. It's practically essential to make high quality crafts at higher levels. Yeah.
How much, like,
The mystery remains, but we are one step closer to identifying the man who has become profane Fafnir. Indeed, though he did not at first appear to be a member of the clergy, his words betray a fervent faith. And how curious that he should speak not only of the Archbishop, but the Bishop of Artino him specifically. I got nothing.
He had a longbow, that's why.
Perhaps he was personally acquainted with his grace.
I was like, man, he didn't hit a single shot. I wonder what happened there.
In light of the possibility, I believe we should speak with him directly. Agreed. I will request an audience, but his grace has many demands upon his time. It may be a while before we are seen. Should he have other business, pray feel free to attend to them in the meantime.
He's hurt.
Alright. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna take a quick restroom break and get some water because I'm gonna be voicing through all of this. So yeah, I'll be back momentarily. And I'm back. Alright. I'm good. We got water. I have Cheez-Its. And yeah. Sapphire, excellent timing as ever. The Conclem has just sent word that the Bishop Vartador will see us now. By which I mean right this instant. It is extremely short notice, I know, but it would not do to miss the opportunity to learn how he and Vandrio may be connected. I'm back. I mean, they're getting ready for sleep. Okay, recall, sounds good. Thank you so much for the lurk. Not wishing to keep his grace waiting, Lord Emmerich is already on his way to St. Raymond's Cathedral. Come, let us hurry ourselves over. My lord, I am so sorry. I informed His Grace that you were making your way hither. But shortly after you arrived, he recalled that he had urgent business and had to leave the cathedral at once. He cannot have gone far, though, so if you wish to search for him in the hopes that you can steal a moment of his time. I'm back, welcome back. Oh my god, there we go. Welcome back, Sir Drop It. To grant us an audience only to depart with such haste. What business can be so pressing? That's a good question. I was actually thinking that too. I was like, what's so important that he's like, no, I gotta go. I must go now. Oh God. Looks like I went the right way. Well now, even the savior of Ishgard should be here. Your Grace, perhaps this is simply our misunderstanding, but we were under the impression that you had granted us an audience. Lord Speaker, rest assured, I was just about to return to the cathedral. There is no need, Your Grace. It will not take long. As you may have heard, we are investigating a young man named Vardino. Is he known to you?
Yes.
No. No, I cannot say he is. With the exception of the former Archimandrite. Wow. I had to take a moment to read that. With the exception of the former Archimandrite, I am sure I know no one by that name. Everything hurts. Why? But mine and the archbishops are known to many, yes? Perhaps his youth took inspiration from public services over which we presided? Goodly soul that he is. Well glad am I that his faith was of comfort to him in sickness. I pray to Heloni that he will soon be found in good health. Now then, if there is nothing else, I shall return to my duties. Berseria. Ah, okay. Oh my god! Hello, Echo. How are you doing today? What? For naught, your eminence. I should carry on your legacy. We have completed the preparations as per your instructions, but are you certain this will work? Well, it must. Lord Emmerich spoke the truth when he revealed the Archbishop sought primal powers to strengthen the people's faith. I could not bring myself to believe it, not at first, but in the course of cataloging His Eminence's personal articles, I came upon his journal. Therein, he had written that through abundant ether and fervent prayer, it is possible to make gods of men. All the power we will require lies in this place, this ass's law, by channeling the essential elements into the soulless flesh and sword we found. We shall summon forth King Thornton and his knights 12, and by his blessing Ishgard shall be restored to its former glory. Damn!
Oh, Prowler.
This is not gonna go well.
It is. Oh, god damn it, that caustic.
No! They're infusing the sword onto him? What happened? What is this? It's just an ordinary man. Scarcely changed from before.
I'm lifeline if you want me to. And then you can take my blue, I think. Where's that gold back?
I just realized the thing is gonna have the power of Thornton whenever we fight it. Oh god. His Eminence. I must protect. Cloned Ellison? Oh my god. Fucking right. All of the cloning technology is on Az's Law. No. No, this isn't right. Confound it! Perhaps I overlooked something. I should return to the Holy See and review the journal. Your Grace! What shall we do with this thing? Leave it. 'Tis a failure without use or value. The residents of this place will deal with it soon enough.
I think there's a Prowler running after me again. I don't even know how to check my score.
Wow. That's fucked.
2 deaths, 3 assists, 507 damage. Oh shit, there's a Prowler behind me. The Prowler behind me! Cole saying as he hot drops us every single time and gets it.
Sapphire, are you well? Will you perchance granted a vision of the past? Yep, this bitch is a lying ass hoe. An attempted summoning of King Thornton and his knights 12?
This ain't about to fall back, it's not in his nature. We gotta catch up to his ass because he's...
Your Grace, you should know full well that summoning is strictly forbidden. You will accompany us to the congregation and explain yourself.
Here's my shields. Oh, shooting at me. Thank you for taking
I have dedicated my life to the church, conducted my affairs in accordance with the scriptures, and taught others to do likewise. But you took it all from us, tore down everything that defined us. You cannot know how it feels to have every existence rejected, to be forsaken by your community, to be denied by society. I will deny You and this justice I deny in Ishgard where church has no place. I refuse to accept it. Do you hear me? I refuse to accept it. Sorry, I had to pull off the chat to be able to read the rest of it. Oh! Wow. Your Grace! No!
Where?
Okay, did you guys see that?
Going by Mason.
My fire and ice lights went back to me all of a sudden? What? Okay. That it should come to violence yet again. That your hand had not been forced, my lord. Deacon Clem should not be alone at this time. I shall remain with him while attending to the aftermath.
I have my ultimate.
When things have settled, I will return to the congregation. Pray go on ahead and get some rest.
I know that. I'm gonna do it over here so I can have my back against.
Yeah, I didn't think this was gonna be that insane.
We'll make it to ring in. We have half a minute. We'll make it there. Loading.
Hello, beautiful people. Hello, Deathless. What's up, dude? How are you doing? I just remembered. I gotta change this.
Saw somebody jumping over here.
I'm trying to get, doing great. Trying to get some gear for my Crafters Gatherers. Nice, dude. Yeah, I'm right now doing all of the role quests. I'm starting out with the magic DPS.
No, Mason shot him. He was the only one alive.
I managed to max out my Black Mage tonight.
It's been a while since I caught it.
How fares the Deacon? Well enough, given the circumstances. Though understandably shaken, he is more determined than ever to help his fellows. Truly, he is possessed of a stout heart. But to think that even a member of the Synod could succumb to despair in turn. That crisis gripping the church is far graver than I had imagined. In pushing for such an abrupt separation of religion and state, we may have exacerbated the growing divide between the clergy and the general populace. Sapphire, will you recount in full that what you witnessed in your vision? Yep, I got you. Get some gear for, oh, I already read that, cool. That he should seek to use one of Alex's unholy abominations to create a primal. Yet that which manifested was not like the being you fought, but rather retained the form of a man, one driven by the desire to protect the Archbishop. We may safely assume the bishop did not have sufficient ether, bereft of Nidhogg's eye. The sword of Ascalon no longer had such power. Nor does that of the warring triad remain to be harnessed, thanks to your valorous intervention. Hey! Cool! I'm actually really happy that what I did mattered in that respect. But if the summoning failed, how did the clone come to possess life, and what purpose drives it? Lack of ether notwithstanding, the necessary components were present for the summoning. Perhaps the ritual itself was a success, and the vessel, though imperfect, arose as a champion of the Archbishop. Yet, how did he come to be in the Central Highlands? You believe that this clone and the man who became the blasphemer are one and the same? Nay, I merely speculate. Yet considering what we know of the clone and Valentro, it would seem a likely possibility. Whatever the truth may be, it will not elude us forever. But first, I must lay some groundwork for the next phase of our investigation. God permitting, I will have news to share ere long, so pray look in on us when you can. Sapphire, you are ever a sight for sore eyes. Your tidings, my friends. I dispatched the Temple Knights to find the clergyman who aided in Bishop Fortuno's summoning attempt. Regrettably, when confronted, all turned and had to be put down. Without their accounts, how then to ascertain that the clone of Vadria and Vandria are the same individual? Maintaining that the assumption that they are. Perhaps we should instead consider how Vadrio may have found his way to Querthus. According to Sapphire's vision, he was abandoned in Azazar. But what did he do afterwards? Then there is but one way to ascertain the truth. We follow his trail. I shall go and search the clone and search for the clone in Az's life. If he's still there, then we're dealing with a different individual. A splendid idea. Leave the floating continents in your capable hands. Why am I only just now remembering that Azizla is also known as the floating continent, which is also another whole ass like reference to both Final Fantasy 3 and 6? Meanwhile, Sapphire and I shall retrace Vandria's steps whence he first appeared. Upon being found in the Central Highlands, he was taken to Camp Dragonhead. Let us begin by making inquiries there.
Oh shit, that's not my team. That's not my team. That's not my team. I didn't land inside the hole. Nope. Pathfinder. Ah, fuck this. There's a squad here, there's a squad here. Is it all the same squad?
It's honestly so cool that we get to go visit all these old places again as part of like the story. Investigating the stranger we found, are you? I wasn't involved myself, so I can't tell you much about the fellow. But in case it is of interest, earlier the same day I caught sight of an airship flying dangerously low. It soon disappeared into the brewing snowstorm, looking none too steady. Okay. So somebody was flying low in an airship. Interesting. Well now, if it isn't the Lord Honcheford's, the late Lord Honcheford's dear friend, is there something you require? Ah yes, the mystery man. I was among those who tended him. He was not attired for the snow, much less the snowstorm in which he had been caught and was suffering from frostbite. When people are extremely cold, they may mistakenly feel that they are warm and disrobe. I might explain his state of undress.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Huh, I actually forgot about that. I actually completely forgot about that. It's a safety mechanism that the body does to try to keep you from, like, pure suffering. Ah, 'Tis an honor to receive you. What brings you to our humble camp this day? Injured man who was found out in the wilds. Yes, I know the one. I was with the patrol that chanced into him north of here at Providence Point. He was unconscious in a bad way, and we heard they bore him back to camp. After doing what we could for him, we sent him into the city. Okay, then we need to check up north. Core body temp thing, yeah. There you are. We're able to the knot of interest. Colder to keep quorum. No, I know. Thus will warm. Yeah, I know. It's a whole, like, yeah. It's kind of cool, but kind of scary at the same time. A mysterious man found collapsed after an airship was seen flying low. Yes, these accounts I heard are consistent with yours. I, for one, am curious about the fate of this unknown airship. I was wondering that too. Where the hell did that go? To that end, I have arranged a pair of black chocobos for us to more efficiently discover the area. We should continue our search to Providence Point, where Berseria is said to have been found. You ready? Let us be off. Oh, I was expecting music too, but oh well, it's fine. Minor 88, nice! Congrats, dude.
Yeah, you're gonna want to save us.
I guess they didn't fall into the crevice. Maybe they landed somewhere over here. Nothing so far. Let us continue northeast. We're long on my crafters for 85 plus. Dude, that's awesome. I'll work on my crafters whenever the beast stripes come out. I'm too, like, lazy otherwise, honestly. I have them all at 80 so I can actually repair all my gear, so, yeah.
Cole is still on that?
Whoa! Oh, that's terrifying. There's your parties, battle jobs. True. By the fury. It's the blasphemy. Our dirty one trick, remember? Yeah, it's true.
You guys, I already know where I sit with y'all.
I just realized we got hit with the echo from the blasphemy.
Why would I want to? I know
His eminence must
so that way Cole
protect
can stroke
his
himself off for
eminence.
being better at a game he knows he's already better at.
Excuse me, Jesus Christ.
We all know. We all know that.
Gotcha.
My man said I'm about
How
to
did
be
he
fine.
come by an airship though? Like, whose airship is that? Ah, you're finally awoke. Alone and be praised. How are you feeling? Strong enough to speak? Can you tell me your name?
I'm trying to take pot shots at Mace's ankles.
My name is.
Bro, haven't you noticed I missed every single shot?
Zephyrin? No. Charivat? Was it? Vilguin? Polycrane? So many names swirling in my mind and voices that reject them. Is there none they will accept? Are you alright? Vendria. My name is Vendria. Well, now, that's the same as as our infirmary. I dare say fate has guided you to us. So, Vendria, I'm feeling up for a little conversation. Can you tell me about yourself? Anything else you remember? Anything at all? That's interesting that I can hear his mental thoughts. That's cool. I didn't know that I could do that. A proud son of House Desmail, nay. A devout servant of Halone who lives for the rush of battle? The pleasure in inflicting pain, the attentions of maidens, to fight besides my brother in arms.
Oh shit.
A low-born runt whose every effort went unrewarded, whose every name disqualified from ever leading the Temple Knights, but his eminence raised me up, granted me a place at his side. From that day forth, I pledged my sword to his service, pledged my very being, my life be offered up in defense of his. I am a knight of the Heaven's Ward, sworn to protect and serve the Archbishop.
The only person that doesn't apply to, apparently.
Oh, you're a knight? Forgive me if that sounded rude, but I had no idea. And while I realize your memories are a bit muddled, I'm afraid I must inform you that the Heaven's Ward have not been seen in quite some time, and are presumed dead. And the Archbishop, well, he is most certainly no longer in this world. Ah, that's where the despair came from. Realizing that the Archbishop is already dead, let alone the rest of the Heaven's Ward. But the important thing is you're safe now, and we'll help you get back on your feet. Speaking of which, let me bring you some food and water. You must be absolutely famished. The Archbishop dead? No. No, this cannot be. How can I still be alive when he is not? I must find him. So he tried going to the cathedral and then go from there. Gotcha. But whose airship was that? How did he fly here? Sapphire! Ho! For the glory of King Thornton. Did he fear me? Another vision, I take it. That's definitely our guy. But whose airship? I want to know whose it is. Let us make for Ishgard. I expect that Lord Archwarel will return soon. If he has not already, we should both be glad to hear your tale. God damn. I will say, being in these areas, I keep expecting to hear music that is of these areas. Hearing the Endwalker music coming out of these quests in these older zones, I'm like, oh god. I'm like, oh right, I'm an Endwalker. Ah, Sapphire. I believe the search was more productive than mine own. Yeah, we found the dragon and also the airship. Everyone is here. Excellent. So were you able to find our clone in Oz's law? Nay. Not, but the discarded Ascalon remained. How fared you with your own efforts in the Central Highlands? In the course of retracing Vindrio's steps, we came upon the wreck of the Soleil. I suspect he found the vessel abandoned in Az's Law and tried to use it to return to Ishgard. But he crashed en route and was subsequently rescued by a patrol from Count Dragonhead. So it would seem the Archbishop's airship was not the only thing we found. Oh, that's right. I don't know why I never thought of that. I forgot that the Archbishop had actually gone ahead in his own airship to Oz's Law. And we never saw it thereafter. Huh. I guess he found it. That's cool. Profane Fafnir was there too. The creature chose to flee, but not before Sapphire had a vision of Vaintrio's past. Go on, my friend. Share with us what you witnessed. Yeah, his despair came from learning of Thornton. All the pieces fit. And this is as you surmise, my lord. Vangio is the clone. Oh, and the clone are one and the same. And in his despair, he turned into the blasphemy. Yet the confusion he exhibited when asked his name is as if he wasn't sure of his own identity. According to the Scions, Primals retained the memories of their previous incarnations. From this, it may be assumed that the clone harbors the memories of all those who became King Thornton and his Knights 12. Though he struggled to reconcile these conflicting memories, he managed to settle on the name Vaindria. The voices within were clearly in agreement when facing Sapphire, the mere sight of whom drove the blasphemy to flee. Above all, however, they shared the desire to protect the Archbishop. This desire was seated in Vaindria's very being, and when he learned that he no longer had a purpose,
That's called racist.
the Heavens Ward took up arms against us in Ishgard. The hand, were we robbed of one of our finest knights and a dear friend. And so, I would now wish such a terrible fate upon them.
We both missed by a pube hair, brother. Oh shit, of course.
The selfsame fate inflicted upon full many clergymen, and a fate I fear ordinary citizens will succumb to if we fail to act. The people will not soon forget the betrayal of our church's leadership, nor should they. But absent the comfort and stability once afforded to them by the institution, many have become lost and all are too vulnerable to despair. Yeah, people don't have to forget, but they can still move forward. Yeah.
Okay, Mason. Oh, that was so close. That would have been hilarious. Oh, I tried.
It's at the end of it, we must forge ahead. I thought as much myself, my friend, but to hear it, you say it as well. Indeed, when the ground upon which we stand crumbles, we must find the strength to move forward, even should it cause us pain to do so. Lord Archwarnell, at the next house session, we shall call for an ecumenical council to be held. My lord, such a gathering reserved for... Oh, you intend for the church to codify new doctrine. Since the separation of religion and state, we have refrained from interfering in church affairs. But if the church is to remain a part of Ishgardian society and continue serving the people, it must reconsider its role and formally address its recent revelations. I would call for this council not as a not as the Lord Speaker, but as a humble adherent of the faith. Long had I considered whether such measures were necessary, but lacked the courage to set them in motion. Now I have it thanks to you. I should tend to the necessary preparations at once. Among other things, we must reach out to those of the clergy who are amenable to reform. As for your patience in the meantime. Sapphire. Yeah. Owing to Lord Emmerich's swift action, I am pleased to say the Ecumenical Council will soon be held. In case you aren't aware, the Council is the highest assembly in the Ishgardian Orthodox Church. Its purpose to deliberate and decide upon doctrine. The previous one was held no less than 80 years ago. And 4 archbishops have since come and gone. As such, most Ishgardians know little of it save that which they have read in historical records. Traditionally, the archbishop and members of the synod would meet behind closed doors. The night of Bishop Vartano's fate, however, the doors will be thrown open to the public. Indeed. The first time in history, all men and women of the faith may have a hand in shaping the mission and teachings of the church. It is my hope that you will also join us in this endeavor. Deacon Clem, allow me to express our gratitude for your efforts in facilitating the council. We appreciate the difficulty of your position. I merely heed my conscience and my faith, my lord. Acting in Bishop Vartano's stead, I should do all within my power to see that the church may serve the people once more. Where is the Lord Speaker, if I may ask? He stepped outside for a moment, saying that he wished to gather his thoughts ahead of the council. The hour draws nigh, however. Sapphire, I shall proceed to the vault with the good Diakon. In the meantime, I ask you to find Lord Emmerich. He should be at the last vigil, I believe. I really love how all of this is getting resolved right now.
Because he knows he's about to say some dumb shit.
I really do. This is really cool. Oh, 'tis you, my friend. Is it time already? I see. My apologies for making you come and fetch me. I have been thinking, Sapphire, on the path I have chosen to walk, and on those who have been left behind as consequences of my actions. Those who died fighting, those burdened with boundless grief, those deprived of position and purpose. Like any nation, Ishgard is made up of disparate souls with disparate beliefs. Without an enemy to unite us, we recall the differences we once set aside out of necessity, and find amongst our old friends new ideological foes.
As that brain's been shooting at me since you started shooting at me.
The future I had envisioned is far more difficult to secure than I have ever imagined. What must I do for our people to live in harmony, for our nation to move forward as one? Such questions I have been pondering. We should begin making our way to the council. Shall we continue our conversation while we walk? Ready? Then let us be off. If disagreeable, I would like to look up on Fortem's Manor. It feels like another age that you and yours were no more than foreign wards of a house war Tom. And in actual fact, it may be considered so. For your coming set in motion a chain of events that brought an end to the Dragonsong War, ushering in a new age of harmony. You paved the way for meaningful change in our nation. And for that, you shall ever have my gratitude. Now then, shall we continue on to the architects? King Thorder and his Knights 12, the murderers of Ratatoska, since the truth of their ancient crime came to light, many have demanded that these images be torn down. Yet, though, what our founding fathers did was wrong. Neither is it right to simply expunge them and their deeds from history. To do so would be to deny our people's parts in what followed for 1,000 years. We have the chance to forge a new future, but we as a nation must decide how we will confront our past. Forgive me, I was lost in thought yet again. Let us join Diacom Clem at the vault. Yeah, since these are meant to be the Heavens Ward. There you are, my friends. The council is about to convene. Let's just take our place at the audience hall. I'm out of water, it's fine. Ooh, snazzy. There's no way we're getting voices right now, right?
I just saw like a revenant show up at it.
Okay, cool. Esteemed members of the clergy and honored adherents of the faith, I thank you all for your attendance. In recent days, our nation has been racked by a series of tragedies. Those among us who do Halone's work have been transformed into abominations. This dreadful phenomenon has been brought about by the final days, and it is upon our despair and anguish that it feeds. Thus, if we are to prevent further tragedy, we must strive to ensure that all Ishgardians, clergymen and citizens alike, abide with peace and love for one another in their hearts. To that end, have I called this ecumenical council. Oh my, I cannot say that word. Oh my god. Ecumenical. This ecumenical council, the first in generations. that we might together determine a path forward for the church and our society as a whole. Since antiquity, the Ishgardian Orthodox Church served the people in two respects: as the Fury's spear to strike at the heart of dragonkind, and as the Fury's shield to safeguard the souls of men. But now that we are at peace with the Dravanians, the Church need no longer serve as the spear, and so we must now reconsider how we might better serve as a shield for our brethren.
I love the way you just whisper asshole under your breath.
Well, the hierarchy must be reformed. And for that, we need accountability. The upper echelon must be stripped of rank at minimum, and investigations conducted, trials held if the evidence is sufficiently damning. And then we may turn our attention to the doctrine of lies. As our present predecessors did before us, we of the Synod have ever sought to interpret the scriptures to the best of our ability and thence conveyed Haloni's will to the people. Such a fervent pursuit of retribution at the expense of doctrine would come also at the expense of our faith.
I was just looking through this scope because I never.
She's not wrong. Have we won the war to lose our souls? Oh, Haloni, are we outside your grace?
That's racist. He said black market. That's called the slave trade, bro.
This bodes ill. At this rate, I want my turn. What you got for us, Emmerich? Since the war's end, the Church and the faithful have stood at the crossroads, unable to take this next step forward. His Grace Bishop Vartido, may he walk in Haloni's halls, was one such soul, and in his longing for simpler times, he resorted to using forbidden magics. He succumbed to despair.
That was a saucy stick, though, you have to admit.
In our minds, we renounce the lies upon which our nation was built, but in our hearts, we yearn for the righteousness, misguided though it was, that gave us comfort and purpose for so long. So let us not forget who we were. Let us confront the mistakes of the past and learn from them, that we do not repeat the mistakes of our forebears. I tried saying forebears and fathers at the same time, Jesus Christ. As fervently as we believed in our sacred duty, we struggled to accept the Church's deception and embrace change. The legacy of Thornton weighs heavy, and there is the temptation to simply cast it aside like a mantle that suits us no longer. Yet, that would dishonor the sacrifice for those who went before. Countless souls who served the people with the purest intent, and so, heavy though it may be, let us together bear this burden as we set forth anew. Our friend Sapphire risked life and limb to reveal the truth to us. The truth that our legends and our scripture were tainted by betrayal, but not wholly corrupted. Though the great walls and towering spires of our city may have been built with murder and deception, they rest upon a foundation immutable and true. our devotion to Halone, whom we have worshipped since before our forefathers settled these lands. The church is a font of practical wisdom, and its teachings guide us in our daily lives. Such things define our faith no less than the lies. We can acknowledge our sins without renouncing our religion. Aye, and without rejecting who we are. A comprehensive review of scripture as well as historical literature will be necessary. Revisions, as appropriate, must be made to ensure that the truth of our past is preserved for future generations. I finished my Arms quest finally. Nice! Gonna work on tank quests. Good luck. With your peerless knowledge of the church doctrine, I dare say none is better suited to leading that effort than you. I also expected that many eyes will be required to pore over all the tomes, and I know many idle men and women of faith who would jump at that chance to do Halone's work once more. This is cool. That day so very long ago, I had no answers to my father's words, but it seems the people had it within them all along. This is cool. I really like this.
When we put the tires in the car, it was half a block away from the box, and we ended up waiting for the tire to
I keep biting my cheek, damn it.
As I'm trying to pick up a shift, you become a member, you get just a free
The council went better than I had hoped. Truly. All the details remain to be decided. It was a resounding success. Your words helped everyone to find common ground. I know not how thank you.
I hate my life.
Much credit must go to Sapphire.
There we go.
In the face of a great hardship, never did she hesitate to press on, and our people have not forgotten this. Indeed. Well, do I remember the day you flew into Ishgard upon a dragon's back, in making possible the impossible. You inspired us all. In you, we glimpsed the fury, a vision of courage in the face of uncertainty. Looking to your example, we shall endeavor to bring about a change to the church, for the future of all Ishgardians.
There was too much dust.
There will, of course, still be those souls who struggle to rise above the mire of despair, but my fellows and I shall be there to take their hand in faith and love. For what is faith, if not salvation? That's true. That's true. Well, I'd best return to the cathedral. We have much and more to do. But ere I forget, I will track down that which we have requested. Some repairs will be necessary, but it will be seen to it with all haste. I love this music, yeah, dude. Freaking Heavensward music is so good. I tasked the Diakon with finding a certain item. You see, a secret weapon, one might say. Even with what we know of Profane Fafnir, I suspect it will be of great use in our hunt. As the repairs are complete, we shall be ready to strike. The church having reached an accord with the people, the risk of more clergy turning is greatly diminished. We may now focus entirely on the blasphemy. 'Tis time we freed Vaintry now from his torment. Rest while you can, Sapphire, for I dare say the combat will demand the best of us. My body is ready. Coconut cod chowder. Oh my god, that's actually pretty good for stats and shit. I'll go ahead and eat that whenever I get into the Sully. Whoa! That's what the material looks like? Damn! Okay.
How did that happen?
Evermarch Heaven's Ward, baby! Oh, I love that. Glad tidings, Sapphire. Since the ecumenical council, not a single soul has turned. Save in that knowledge, we need only think of how to hunt down the blasphemy. Ah, Sapphire. You are here too. Excellent. I am pleased to say that the secret weapon is ready. We may now look to dealing with profane Fafnir. Let's do this. As you will recall, when we last encountered it, it was lying in wait by the Soleil. An instinct driven by its inherited memories, I believe, it seeks to protect that which is most strongly associated with the Archbishop. In all likelihood, so it's the self-same motive that compelled it to come home to the Holy See. From the skies above, it keeps watch over the Holy Vault. When next it descends, we shall exploit this instinct by using the secret weapon to lure it to the chancel. Did they get Ascalon? What exactly is the secret weapon? It is none other than the Fury's grace, the holy croiser of the Archbishop. Suspecting that Bishop Vartino had retrieved it from Asisla, I had Diakon Clem search his private quarters. My suspicions proved correct. With the croiser in hand, I shall make an irresistible bait for profane Fafnir. Well then. I thought it was going to be Ascalon. My lord, that is an unconscionable risk. There is no telling how the blasphemy will react. Indeed, but we can be confident that I will command his undivided attention, thus ensuring that no more of our citizens are placed in harm's way. If the heavens ward are the Archbishop's shields, then the Temple Knights are the people's. As leader of the order, the risk is mine to bear. All the knights of the Heavens Ward fell in Az's law. A vessel for their memories of Vaintria may be considered the last of the number. Let us go then, and relieve him of his their duty. Let us see to our preparations and proceed to the vault. We finish this once and for all. We about to do this. My body is ready. This is gonna be fun. Or rather, this is where the fun begins. Might as well. It's a good day to die. If you're ready, then head to set forth. You need but say the word. Let's do this.
Brandon is Mason's favorite animal.
Oh. Alright, here we go. Immediately with the music against the heavens ward. The beast comes! Now is our chance! Make ready.
I don't have faith in
I wonder if he has a spell within the cruiser. To me, my knights! Oh, that was cool! I'm not gonna lie, that was cool. For the glory of King Thornton!
God damn it, Marcos. Why can't you hit your shots? Oh
No,
my god.
you are not he. A trick. It is a trick!
You know what?
Forgive me, Sylvandria, but for the sake of all Lich Guardians, we must strike you down.
How am I missing all my shots?
Here we go.
Oh,
Let's do this!
oh, got him.
Altar Pyre, oh my god. He's using all the moves. Yeah, it's your Cherry Bird's magic, yeah.
You underestimate me.
Conviction?
Do not underestimate me.
Stay on your guard. Oh, you hoe! Come here.
We must stand our ground.
god damn it.
You underestimate me.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Flare! Die! Heaven's Ward? Oh my god!
I will not falter.
Oh my god! Level triple casting 3 flares in a row, same. I love being in this thing's butt. Oh, I didn't notice the stars. I'm gonna be right here. Close. Oh, damn it! Ow! Heck, I know, I didn't see it. It's fine. God damn it, I lost my... It's fine. Heaven's Flame? Oh, the names of these moves are so cool. Heaven's Frost. Like, these are the biggest, like, Heaven's Ward references.
This knight does not yield.
Lightning Storm. Oh, this is, okay. This is DPS check here. Die! Yes! Alright.
I'm over here shooting bots trying to pick up equipment and Mixie says, I'm a clapping. Oh!
My god, man. Finally, it is over. May they rest in peace, man. Thus ends the tale of the Heaven's Ward. Let it not be forgotten. It was wrong of them to conceal the truth of our nation's founding, to abet the Archbishop in his machinations. Yet, in peering into their hearts, one thing became clear. They too had succumbed to primal manipulation. They too were victims. Flawed men, aye, but not without sin. British guardians, brave and true, as we all aspire to be. Having triumphed in the battle of ideals, I have a responsibility to all of our people. Their hopes and dreams, their sorrow and suffering are mine to bear, and bear them I shall. For had you not vanquished King Thornton, or had I erred in but one of my choices, I may as well have been the first to succumb to despair, to be reborn of blasphemy. A ridiculous notion. I'm more like to become a beast than you. Thank you, my friend, having such confidence in me. My apologies. 'Twas not mine intent to wax sentimental. Our work here is done. Let us return to the congregation.
God damn it, you son of a bitch, hit different.
Dude, that's awesome.
Oh shit, the bots. Those bots, man.
Yeah, I gotta say, Paradox, really cool spell. It is a really, really cool spell.
Nah, I'm not shooting Mason. He's making shit like
Sapphire, permit me to offer my gratitude for helping us to overcome not only the blasphemy but the despair which responded. But this is only the beginning. On the face of it, we may have made tremendous strides in breaking down ancient barriers within our society, but there yet remain great rifts to be bridged. It is no easy thing to rise above a lifetime of preconceptions and prejudice. I myself have struggled to do so, as you must know. But I shan't give up.
my successes, huh?
On the honor of my house, I will do everything in my power to build a new Ishgard, one in which all people can see eye to eye regardless of birth and station. Now then, I believe the Diakon has some words for you too. Pray lend him an ear. My Lady Sapphire, may I say how glad I am that you are safe and well. Just before you had arrived, Lord Emmerich explained to me the true nature of the man who became the blasphemy. The poor, confused creature was born of the church's mistakes, and on behalf of the clergy, I give you my heartfelt thanks for laying it to rest. As we work to reform our institutions and rebuild our relationship with the people, we will remember and pray for all those who have fallen in service to the faith. We shall pray for you as well, wheresoever your path may lead. May the Fury ever watch over you and keep you. I should leave it at that, then. Lord Emmerich too wishes to speak, and would not do to keep him waiting. Sapphire, Lord Artuarel, I thank you for the vital roles you played in ridding us of profane Fafnir. As ever, the sight of you in combat was nothing short of inspiring. I am here to kick ass! No further reported instances of people turning into blasphemy itself. No more. What? With no further reported instances of people turning it and the blasphemy itself no more, I should like to believe we are free of the scourge of despair. My brother and I shall labor to see that it ever remains so by fighting to dispel the darkness in men's hearts. And I shall fight with you, not only as the Speaker of the House of Lords and the Lord Commander of the Temple Knights, but as a man of faith in our God and in our people.
You guys sound like I have no options.
Together, let us strive to fill our nation with hope. Sapphire, by now you will be sick unto death of being thanked, but I must nonetheless express an additional word of gratitude. Full oft have you saved our nation, our people. I speak not only of our lives, but our hearts and minds as well. You have given us a great gift of opportunity, that of opportunity and choice. And if we are to repay you for it, we as a nation must take full advantage of our freedom to dictate the new course forward into a brighter future. What forward means we may not always agree upon, but as fellowish guardians, we shall find a way to rise above our differences and stand united. Well, after that, then have a good night, man. Dude, Sir Dropper, thank you so much for coming by. Have you absolutely wonderful rest of your night. Get your rest, and I'll see you next time, my dude. That is the nation that I will strive to build. This, I swear to you. Well, dude, man. Psst. Sounds good to me, dude. Sapphire, given all the trouble you have done for us, I am loath to impose further. May trouble you to bear word of our success to the officer in Ratahan. We will of course be sending a report, but there is no substitute for the first-hand account. Our allies would benefit from the additional details you can provide as well. Our thanks again, my friend, and may the Fury speed your way. Well, that was certainly a fun role quest. I liked it. To Radzahan we go. Oh yeah, I forgot. I could have just... Alright, it's fine. I could have just used return. I keep forgetting. Not 100% used to it. I know I mentioned it at like the start of the stream that this is why I put Ratahan to be my home. It's fine. Ah, my lady Sapphire. By your return, dare I hope the hunt for the blasphemy was a success? Yep, we kicked ass. That you would vanquish the beast comes as a little surprise, but that this occasion would serve as impetuous for the church to embark upon a path of reform is incredible. I will share these joyous tidings with our allies without delay. If I may speak candidly, I must confess to being a great admirer of yours. When you have a moment, I should like to hear about some of your adventures, if you would do me the honor. For the present, however, in my official capacity as the Ishgardian delegate, I offer you my humblest thanks for your immeasurable service to our nation. You can now dye the job-specific gear for level 90 magical range DPS. Job-specific gear will become available once you have fulfilled certain conditions within the main scenario quest for Endwalker. More than fear. Yo. Alright. That's done.